the first installment of The Mafia Listens, where you guys send in your stories so that we can assess and listen to what you have to say. Now, this is a play off of another segment on this channel called The Mafia Speaks, where you guys give us your stories and we give you advice to those stories. The only difference between this segment and that segment is us giving you advice, while this segment is us listening to your stories and me telling these stories on a set video that is a sit down video, not necessarily a live feed. If you guys want to send in your story, it is going to be right here on the screen at TheeMafiaListens@gmail.com. However, if you would prefer to send your story to TheeMafiaSpeaks@gmail and have your story read on the live stream, make sure you send it to TheeMafiaSpeaks@gmail.com. Make sure that you send it to the right email. Everything you need is going to be linked down below. Also, make sure you reference the description box for everything that you guys consistently ask me about down below. And let me just point out, do you guys miss the couch? Y'all know y'all miss the couch. I have not been on this couch for maybe over a year. It's been a long ass time since I sat on this couch, okay? I've been renovating my office and I'm thinking about actually getting rid of the couch. I know, it's such sweet sorrow, okay? But Sage actually loved this couch, okay? She's always on this couch. I'm gonna feel bad if I get rid of it. So I've actually been debating if I want to get rid of this couch or not, but I might just have to get rid of it. So we only have 2 stories today, but one is a little bit longer than usual. And also understand that when you send these stories, I would prefer them to be anonymous because we've had some drama with people sending in stories. I reference it all the time. So yes, Sage, you're kind of laying on my phone. Okay, oh, okay, you're gonna move. Okay. Anyways, let's get into the first story. Hey, Yvana, that's me. Reference to the Amanda show. If you're too young, you're too young. I absolutely love you and your channel, and I think what you do is amazing. You are down to earth, and it really means a lot. I wanted to share my story with you in hopes that maybe it can help somebody else out there who is going through the same struggles. I apologize in advance if this is long. Trigger warning: depression, anxiety, thoughts of suicide, anorexia. Okay, so y'all already got the trigger warning. If you gotta go, you gotta go. There's other videos you can watch. I am a woman who turned 25 years old in May this year, 2022. Growing up, I was always considered to be a goody two-shoes child. I went to school and was a competitive gymnast, which means I was in the gym 21 hours a week. That is a lot. When the hell did you have time to go to like school? Like 21 hours a week? Jesus. Oh, my schooling wasn't any better either. I was in public school up until 4th grade, private school for a year, 5th grade, homeschooled for the rest of middle school, public high school, and then private college. Jesus. Outside of one of my siblings, I didn't have any friends. What about the people on your competitive team though? Oh my god. I was very isolated as a child. I was a straight A student who did what she was told the first time. I am not entirely sure what happened or where the switch was made or if there was even a switch, but I seemed to always be getting in trouble with my mother. It would be over little stuff. I would get scolded for the dishes not being done, if I was doing my homework, or maybe the trash wasn't taken out and I was cleaning my room. My middle school years were a blur, but I do remember going into high school and wanting to off myself freshman year. I have never made any acts on it. All throughout high school into the present, my mother told me that I didn't have friends. Wait, what? Why would she? I'm confused. No one cared for me and they only wanted to use my money, their money, and then discard me after I was used. That whole idea of parents taking their children's money really irritates the hell out of me. Like, you should take it and put it into a fund, if anything. You should not be using your children's money for personal use. They said I could only rely on them because only they cared about me. I was slowly starting to become more conscious of myself and try to voice some concerns I had in general. I was told my concerns don't matter and all I need to do is listen. This persisted on for years. I was told how to dress, how to act, where to go, who to talk to, what job to get, what I wanted to do when I grow up, what I liked, what I didn't like, you name it. I became severely depressed. This is insanely controlling and ridiculous. I don't understand. What is this? This type of like control that parents want to have over their children, or families want to have over like younger people in their family. Ugh. It got to the point where I was a walking corpse. I didn't live for myself. I couldn't. I would crack. I went to the guidance counselor in school and they suggested therapy for myself. Thank God. I'm telling you this right now. If you're going through anything like this or anything like as severe as this, always go to the therapist in your school, the guidance counselor, because they can help you. They're the only ones that can help you, especially if you're underage, because if you're not over the age of 18, no one can really suggest anything to you. Okay, so always go to them. Talking to my doctor and possibly family therapy. I brought this up to my parents and they told me there was nothing wrong with them, only something wrong with me. And if I just listened, I wouldn't be feeling like this. It looks like you've been listening, no. It looks like you've been doing everything that they wanted you to do. So what the fuck are they talking about? If only people went to family therapy. Do you know the type of shit that would happen if people went to family therapy, y'all? My mother was in the room with me when I was at the pediatrician, when I was told I would probably need some extra help and probably medication to balance my chemical imbalance. Oh, wow. Wow. That's deep. To need medication that early really sucks. I think my first antidepressants I took in like high school, I think I was like 15. My mother told me that I didn't need therapy because nothing was wrong and people who take meds belong in mental institutions. So at the ripe age of 15, I was scared of getting help. Pause. That is fucking toxic as shit. First of all, just because you need medication does not mean you belong in a mental institution. Just because you need medication does not mean there's something wrong with you. Just because you're on medication does not mean that you're crazy, as a lot of people like to say. Please get help if you need help. Please take the medication if you need the medication. Do not believe this ridiculous shit that people try to tell you. This is very, very toxic and problematic, and I need to understand why people think it's okay to say shit like this. This is why the world is the way it is. This is why people refuse to get help. This is why the fucking universe is never going to be restored to any bit of fucking decency. This is so freaking disgusting. Like, you were 15 and you needed help and you got the help you needed. You tried to get the help that you needed, and here your parents go telling you, oh well, you belong in a mental institution if you take those pills. Like, excuse me? I would have still took them damn pills. Like, I remember when I got put on pills, I don't believe my doctor ever told my parents, which I think could have been some sort of violation of ethics, to be quite honest with you, but I needed those damn pills. If I didn't take those pills, I probably would have ended my life. Like, that's how bad I was, and I feel like that was the first time I ever felt like I was suicidal. I feel so bad for you because I know what it's like to be there. I know what it's like to feel like you really want to end it, and a lot of people don't get it. Like, if you've never been there, you have no right to even comment. You know, you have no right to even say like anything about it, because like when you get to the point where you like feel like you can't take it anymore, when you feel like you get to the point where like waking up hurts, when you get to the point where like you're waking up, like I even feel like that now, and I have like way more of a better life now than I did back then. When you wake up, it's like, yo, breathing hurts, waking up hurts, showering hurts, eating hurts. Like, you're just so tired. Those pills are lifesavers, bro. Like, they're lifesavers. So it's like, for people to even like make comments like that, it's just so fucking insensitive and wrong. I am so sorry you had to go through that. And like, you would think that like parents of kids that are telling them like, yo, I feel this way, I don't want to live anymore, like I feel like shit, you would hope, you would think like they would be like, oh okay, like what can we do for you, why do you feel this way? You would think that they actually care, but they don't. And that's the thing that makes me mad. Like, they don't be giving a fuck. There was one day I was on the floor begging my father for help because I wanted to end it all, and he said, I can't go against your mother because I love her. Jesus fucking Christ. Your parents are basura. They're royal fucking trash. Nigga, what? So you can't help your own fucking kid? And then got up and walked away. I was still in high school and I just shattered. I didn't really care what happened to me. I cried myself to sleep every night in high school. I convinced myself God hated me and I would be better off gone. Nobody would notice if I wasn't here anyway. I found some sense of comfort in online video games with others across the globe. Multimedia online role-playing games. MMORPG is where I would constantly find myself. I had so little affection that I came into contact with a P word. Him 30, me 15, living in Croatia while playing a game. I did not want this to take this bad of a turn. Again, more trigger warnings, y'all. Y'all gonna have to click off if you can't, because I can't already. I listened to this man who was also abusive towards me. Wait, what? I would say how over a video game, but from what I heard, video games could be very, very dangerous. We talked off of the game. I never showed him anything personal with myself, but there was a lot of sexual talk. My mother found out about it and took my laptop away. I'm sorry, as she fucking should, because no. She yelled at me for it. In hindsight, I know it was wrong, but at the time, I was so starved for love that I was desperate. And this is why you listen to your fucking kids, y'all. This is the shit that happens when you don't listen to your fucking kids. Once I got my laptop back, I went right back to talking to him. It was taken away a second time, and she told me that if I did it again, she would ship me off to him. How does your mom threaten you to ship you off to a pet Now the thing is, a lot of y'all parents, y'all be watching my videos and y'all be like, oh, you don't know what it's like to be a parent, so don't even be judging the way. No. There's nothing that justifies a lot of the things that y'all be doing and a lot of things that y'all be saying. That's absolutely disgusting. Me and my mom would have had to catch hands if you said some shit like that to me. Because excuse me, the last time I got my laptop back, I just got smarter and sneakier about it. At this time, it was now close to my high school prom. I told him about it, and my date, who was a friend that I asked over text, and he told me I couldn't go or he would break up with me. Alright, this relationship getting a little weird. I never thought we were together in the first place, so I didn't care and went to prom. A week or two before that, my date asked about that man, saying he threatened him. Oh my god, wait. Plot thickens. I told my date not to worry and that he couldn't hurt him. My date ditched me during prom, so I spent it with some friends. Jesus Christ. My mother asked how it went and I told her I was ditched. She said it was my fault that happened, and she heard from my date's mother about the P-word threatening him. She scolded me for a while. That is very problematic. When it gets to a point where someone online is able to threaten people in your real life, you know it's time to cut them off, right? Like, don't ever let it get to that point. When it comes to anyone online being able to reach people in your real life, it's time to cut them off. Like, I'm telling you this right now for anyone watching. Like, I always like to say, like, the internet ain't real, okay? The internet is make-believe, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it can get real quick. Don't let anything get to that point, because shit get real scary. People don't know how to use fucking VPNs and firewalls, and sometimes you make the mistake of having your address on, okay, your location on or whatever, and people can find where you are and they can hurt you and they can hurt other people in your life, okay? Be very careful. During that time, the TV was on. My mother thought I was looking at the TV and not here, when in reality she was going from TV to me. She tried to grab my chin so that I would look at her, and out of flex I smacked her hand away, so she lunged for my throat. Child. Why would you do that? I'm thankful I was strong at the time, because I was able to physically restrain her to protect myself. I don't know, I mean, you kind of smacked her, but then again she grabbed your chin, so... My sibling and father had to break us up. I didn't talk to her for a while. I stopped talking to the P word too. I finally went off to college and stayed on campus. Thank God. Our relationship seemed to get better slowly. I figured it was because of the space. Absolutely. I became afraid. During the breaks, I was afraid of going home because I knew everything was going to repeat. I became a puppet of sorts. I never spoke unless spoken to. I never hung out with friends or invited anyone over. I didn't text or call any friends. I didn't go anywhere except work. I only answered yes or no, maybe to questions, and stayed in my room. I became so small that I found comfort in small dark areas and was afraid of large spaces. That's actually very scary. If you ever find yourself in a situation like that, understand you're free now. Especially when you get away, like when you move out, when you go on campus, like you're free now. You can talk, you can move, you can act, you have friends, you have family, you have people that are listening to you. Understand you're not alone. Understand your friends may be going through something similar, your family may be going through something similar. It's very easy to feel alone. It's very easy to feel small. It's very easy to feel like no one will understand you. People will understand you, and I feel like it's very easy to feel like no one cares, but people do care, and this is sad. Like, I can't believe your parents damaged you to this extent. Like, deadass, this is so sad. I was made to feel I didn't matter. I stopped trusting her and became afraid. I would jump and go into full-blown panic when my phone rang and it was my mother. I would answer, but I would get this close to passing out beforehand. I made it through college without too many mishaps and stayed low until I moved out. First of all, the fact that you made it through college feeling like that, the fact that you like literally made it through college without like literally ending it all, I'm telling you right now, that is like something to be very proud of yourself for. I can't begin to tell you how many people don't. Okay, I can't begin to tell you how many people cannot even like make it through the first year going through what you've been through. So that's something to be congratulated for. You deserve not to go back to that house. So I really hope the next line is not I moved back to my house. Okay, I really hope you were saving. I really hope you were thinking of something or someplace that you could go after that, because do not go back to that house after that shit. Okay, do not go back to that house after all of this nonsense that you went through. Do not go back to that house after all of this hoopla, because you deserve to be at peace. You deserve to be somewhere where you are able to think clearly, where you're able to actually have people that care and love for you. Not saying that your parents don't care about you, but they clearly don't care about your well-being. Okay, they don't care about if you're happy. Fast forward to last year, 2021. After staying low to the ground and continuing to maintain my distance from them after moving out now, 2020. I finally mustered up some courage to tell them how I felt. Let's see how it goes this time. Maybe it would make a difference. I would hope so, but I don't. Something's telling me it won't. I was too afraid to text or call, so I sent an email. I poured my heart out to tell them how I felt. I didn't blame them for anything, but just stated a matter of fact how I felt. They ignored me. They never responded for 3 months until I got a text message and 2 emails from them, all with the same message of work for the government, get your head out of your ass. Your sibling is doing so well in their job. They paid off their student loans. You are over there struggling. You need to get a job with the government because they have good benefits and will give you good money. You aren't as successful as them, etc. Wow. This is literally the most gaslighting shit I've ever seen in my entire life. First of all, you've always had issues. They know you've had issues. This is not the first time you poured out yourself to them. Literally, you were about to end your life. You was laying on the ground and your dad left you there. So I don't know why they're trying to act like they don't give a fuck. Like this is new to them. I would never talk to them ever again. I hope you cut your parents off, because get the fuck out of here. After that, I was heartbroken. I really tried to pour my heart out to them and they said fuck you in return. Pretty much, they might as well have just replied fuck you, because child. I told them to regard me as a stranger and that they no longer have a daughter, as you should. I then proceeded to block them on everything, phone, all social media. I even figured out how to block their emails. I was prepared to get better. Going into June of this year, 2022, they were back in the area due to retirement/work reasons. My sibling had no idea any of this was going on because I am the oldest. I was supposed to be strong for them. I finally told them what was going on when I refused to see them, to the point I was ready to run away from my apartment and lock myself in my closet. All right, don't be doing all of that. When you do stuff like this, you gotta be strong, okay? You gotta keep a level head when you're making a stance. All right, don't be locking yourself in apartments, all of that, because then they're gonna try to lock you up in a psych ward, which there's nothing wrong with a psych ward if you really need it, but you're making a stance, you're making a point, okay? Stay strong. Don't be doing all that. Don't be doing all that. My sibling asked if I would be willing to talk to my parents and they would be mediator because they didn't like how I was treated. I like your sibling. I was about to ask you how your sibling felt about this. I was gonna ask you to write back, but I agreed, but only promised to talk, nothing more. I met with them at Panera and was terrified to see them. It took me a while to muster up words, but I was able to talk with my chest. I'm not going into detail about everything that went on, but they gaslit me the entire time. They talked of the sacrifices and how we had to be thankful. My mother brought up my period for some reason and said they did the best they could. What the fuck did that have to do with anything? They even tried to guilt trip me and make me out to be the villain because I wasn't there for my father when his dog died last year after I cut them off. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? They asked me, well, what do you want? I told them an apology. They said, for what? My sibling had to chime in and say, because even though you might have had good intentions, a lot of the things you did hurt her and you never apologized for that. Why is it that my sibling, who just learned of this information 2 days ago, understands, but my parents don't? They proceeded to ignore that and beat around the question, talking about sacrifices. My mother went to the bathroom and only then did my father apologize to me. My mother never has. This is probably one of the most infuriating stories anyone's ever sent to me in my life. Your parents are fucking horrible. I'm really happy that you sat down and you spoke with your chest and you met with them to literally air out how you felt, to get your apology. I'm happy that your dad apologized. I feel like it was always your mom. Even when that whole situation happened and you were literally about to end your life, your dad was right there and he said, oh, I can't betray your mom. That's when I realized, okay, your mom is the problem here, because that's fucking ridiculous. You can't help your child because of your wife. Fuck your wife. In the end, they were more curious in what I was doing because they wanted bragging rights over me. Yes, they said that to my face. Are you Haitian or Caribbean? Some sort of foreign? Cause Jesus. And after I reluctantly let them see where I lived with my sibling, my mother had the audacity to ask for a hug and say welcome back to me, as if I were some bad child who ran away because of a temper tantrum. I started therapy this month. This month? Girl, you should have been started therapy, but I'm so happy you started anyway at this point, because child, this is so bad. And have found out multiple things that I didn't know before. Like my mother being my abuser. Absolutely. I knew she had neglected me and manipulated me. I left out a lot that she did to me, but I never thought that she was my abuser. Well, yeah, I could have told you that until the therapist told me otherwise. As I was going over things, my eating habits were brought up. I told her I used to eat 1 meal a day with no snacks. I was going 24 to 48 hours with no food. I do that a lot too. And then I binge, which is probably why my binge eating disorder is so fucking bad. I lived off of water. I didn't deserve to eat, and I had to work for all the food I ate. That's so sad. If I eat too much, then I would starve or throw up. I would get massive headaches and feel nauseous when I try to eat again. I was constantly tired or passing out. I get lightheaded at the drop of a hat. I thought it was normal. I was then diagnosed with abnormal anorexia. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. This is so sad. I do not like that I have anorexia, but I have all of the symptoms of a person with anorexia. Earlier today, we were doing some work into why I obsessed with being skinny. I have the mindset that everyone else looks perfect, but only I have a problem with myself. Oh, I am 5'1" and I weigh 105 pounds. Yeah, you're really little. I dropped to 102 pounds earlier this year. After doing some deep diving, it turns out I have an eating disorder because of my mother. The event that started it all happened when I was 6 or 7. I am very much into gymnastics at the time, and my mother wanted me to do well and look well during gymnastics. All the kids have pretty little pot belly of sorts because that's where their organs reside. My mother would tell me that I looked ugly. I looked like I swallowed a watermelon or a basketball, and that I looked pregnant at 6. I feel like this is how my binge eating started, but not like this specific story, but like my family, my mom specifically making comments about my weight or like how I would or wouldn't eat. It's insane. I was forced to suck in my stomach. I told her that it hurt and I couldn't breathe, but she didn't care. I learned to suck in my stomach all the time. When I work out, rest, eat, shower, use the bathroom. Yo, you must be in constant pain to constantly suck your stomach in all the time. Do you understand how painful and problematic that is? I am so sorry. It has been almost 20 years now. My organs have shifted. Wait, your organs have shifted from sucking in your stomach? I didn't even know your organs can shift from sucking. I am so fucking sorry. It's so sad what society and people in our lives do to us. Just this is so damaging. I'm sorry. Don't talk to your parents no more. Fuck that. I know you kind of rekindled shit, but she needs to give you a legitimate apology before you even consider talking to her again. Your organs have shifted? Nigga, what? I'm currently unable to release my stomach and reflex without being in pain. It feels as though my spine is being pulled through my stomach and my organs are falling out of place. This has also affected my breathing. I'm asthmatic because I had to learn to breathe with my chest due to the space in my abdomen being restricted. My diaphragm isn't able to fully expand. I became obsessed with the idea of being skinny. So when I stopped gymnastics because of college, I compensated with my eating habits. This, coupled with the feeling of not being worth anything, led to my abnormal anorexia. I can't believe what the fuck I just read. I am so sorry. Like, I can't even say sorry anymore. This is probably one of the saddest stories I think I've ever read in my entire life. This is so depressing. You did not deserve that. You did not deserve that at all. I can't believe this happened to you. You didn't deserve that. You didn't. You really didn't. You really did not. What the fuck was the point of that? My parents aren't in my life anymore and I have a lot of work to do. I'm still in therapy and I will be in there for a long time. It still hurts, but I will be okay. For those that have listened the whole way through and want to know how to help, please say something to the parents like mine who have kids. As I've opened up to more people, adults that have known me for years said they saw my mother's behavior and how she treated me, but never said anything because they felt it wasn't their place. If they had spoken up, I wouldn't be like this today. For kids who went through this, you aren't alone. It's important to seek help. Thank you for reading my story. I'm not sure if you will have much to say, but I wanted to share it. It is one of the ways I'm working through things. You heard her. For the parents that are like this, y'all sitting here like literally damaging your children's well-being and their insides by literally making them eat, making them not eat, having them suck in their fucking stomachs for appearances. Please stop it. Please. It's not worth it. Ignoring their mental, physical, emotional well-being. Understand, you're literally going to destroy their lives. It's never worth it. It really isn't. This is probably one of the worst stories I think I've read on my channels, and it is the first TheeMafiaListens. I hope not all the stories are this bad, but I'm sure they're probably gonna get this bad. I really hope that you have an amazing recovery, bounce back. I don't know what to really call this. I really hope your anorexia does get better because people are usually able to bounce back from it. I hope that therapy does you very well, and I really hope that you stay away from your toxic ass parents. I'm really happy that your dad did apologize. It might really be legitimately sincere. I don't think you're ever gonna get a legitimate apology from your mom, and if you do, I probably don't think it's gonna be sincere. Your siblings sibling seems to be absolutely like God sent. Okay, she was able to communicate how you felt. She was able to actually care. She was actually able to resonate with you, and that's great. That's great, because not too many people can have siblings that actually give a fuck, because she clearly didn't go through half the things that you went through, but who knows, maybe she went through something and you probably don't even know. So honestly, I would say maybe you should actually probably talk to her and see how her upbringing is. And this is why I always tell you guys, like, you guys may grow up with siblings, and this is what I talk about in my sister's story time. Y'all may grow up with siblings in the same household and the same this, that, and the third, and go through a completely different experience as that sibling. Okay, just because you grew up with someone, just because you have the same sibling as someone, whatever case may be, doesn't mean you guys have the same upbringing. With that being said, like I said, send your stories to TheeMafiaListens or TheeMafiaSpeaks, depending on the nature of the story. Make sure, if you guys want to support me more, you guys join the Patreon. If you guys want to support my other 2 channels, make sure you guys head down to the description box. If you guys enjoyed this video, give me a big thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, do all that, and I'm gonna see y'all next time. Bye.